IVM.
Hi everybody, just wanted to ask everyone for a quick favor. We're running a brand survey right now and would really appreciate it if you could let us know what you think about the advertising on IVM. Go to ivmpodcast.com/survey and do let us know. As part of this, we'll be selecting 10 random participants and sending them some IVM swag, so do fill out those surveys.
The boys are back, not on Amazon Prime, but on FootballShootball. This is season 3, they're at season 2.
When is season 3? I was thinking about it yesterday itself, the boys season 3. When is it coming out?
I will check with Amazon Prime if they can also sponsor like this podcast. We can totally promote their upcoming shows.
So what I read is February they shot or they started shooting. So how long does it take? We made movies in 24 hours in college. Shivram knows. I do not understand if you start shooting in Feb, why it's August.
I think it's about good movies. I think good movies take time. Our movies, I mean, for where we were at that point in time mentally, I think they were pretty good. I think we've moved on to bigger things and bigger productions, and this is exactly an example of that.
But I love, there was this one shot, Sapre, you don't know this, but like we had to do a tracking shot. Karan, a friend of the podcast, a mutual friend of all of us, he was whatever, he was cinematographer, DOP, whatever he felt like. And he was also the main production guy. So we didn't have a tracking, like the dolly things and all that. So he took his pulsar out. I think someone was riding and he was behind with a camera in his hand and capturing our feet. The movie's called 6 Feet. Go check it out on YouTube. Yeah, it's there somewhere if you get into the rabbit hole.
If you can recognize Karthik's feet, please take a screenshot, tweet to us using hashtag FootballShootball. And we would love to see if you can actually track it.
We just ruined Sapre's intro. I do not know if he had planned one. But
no, I think we should do more such stories where Sapre is not involved at all. Right? So just do and make it talk about it.
This is fun. This is fun. Last minute panic of not wanting to create a doc or unable to create a doc, just go away. But good to know that Karan is who inspired Inara to shoot those kind of scenes. Right? But enough of that. We're not on Amazon Prime. This is on Hotstar, so we have to figure out Hotstar, right? Karthik, how many matches did you watch? Highlights, I mean, from this weekend.
Chelsea's game in full. The Chelsea-Arsenal game in full in the Premier League. That's it. And the United game for that matter. Yeah.
You did watch the United game of all the games. We're not going to talk about the United game too much. But I'm happy because some good goals happened. Yeah? Danny Ings scored a wonderful goal.
Lukaku
scored a beautiful. Lukaku, we'll talk. There's the section marked in the doc for 30 minutes.
Antonio, sorry. I meant Antonio. I don't know why I said Lukaku. Lukaku is just in my nightmare, so maybe that's why I'm thinking of him. But Antonio, what a touch. Killer.
Lovely. So, Antonio, good. Because we're calling this episode David, not because of David Beckham, not because of David James, not because of David Dhawan, but because of David Moyes, the chosen one at West Ham, though not at United. We'll talk about him and Antonio, but before that, we'll take a quick break.
$100. That's all it takes to begin your journey with Bitcoin and Ethereum. No, really. With CoinSwitch, you can start investing in over 100 cryptocurrencies with just 100 rupees. On top of that, there are zero charges for deposits and withdrawals, so you can trade, buy, sell, however and whenever you want. All of this, plus their extremely intuitive interface, makes CoinSwitch the perfect app for beginners in the crypto space. But don't take my word for it. Just download CoinSwitch for free and try it out for yourself. If you'd like more information on cryptocurrencies, tune into a show about crypto with me, Rohan Joshi, my new adventure on IVM podcasts. CoinSwitch, kuch to badlega.
Okay, West Ham United. I'm not surprised with their progress, to be honest. I hope Kurt Zuma also... No, they played well.
I'm not surprised.
No. They played really well last season.
You are the guy who sits on the road with 3
I'm a
cards and has a popert. You are the popert, actually. You're not the guy, you're the popert.
I am the typical Indian. Wherever some Indian context we get, right? Like you say, we try and proudly say it. So this is United Connect, right? So David Moyes has become a fan of West Ham suddenly.
Wait. So Indian Connects happen when like Sundar Pichai is on the screen, right? So he's gone from India and done really well. Moyes flopped at United badly. And you were paying his contract for a good 5 years or something like that, right? So, and then not 9 months, sorry, not 5 years. My bad.
But let bygones be bygones. We'll talk about what he's doing at West Ham, right? They were scoring good goals last season. They scored the most goals this season. The problem is defense. Kurt Zuma Chelsea have agreed a fee. I think he wants a lot of money. वो नहीं मिल रहा उसको.
Whoa! West Ham beat Leicester 4-1.
This is not okay. This is that podcast now. We're reading about results and like, whoa, what a good game.
We have a cricket fan on the podcast today. Both of them, Karthik. Anyways, busy watching the West Indies Pakistan series.
West Indies are just about hanging in there. They have 2 more sessions.
Go to Pakistan now then.
But 4-1. Okay, when did this happen? Monday night. Nobody messaged on the group. Yeah,
Last
you guys
night,
were also...
yeah, because we were busy watching the game.
No, you should watch the game. Good game. Really good goals. I didn't take Ben Rama. That's how it's called. Ben Rama. Am I right?
Saeed Ben Rama.
I thought the first game was good for him. He won't really do well. So I didn't take him as... I took a differential in FL. We'll talk about it. Didn't turn out to be a differential, etc. But that's for it. I'm happy for West Ham. I hope...
But differentials are different. For everyone who's tuning in for the first time, differentials an FL term. And a differential is a differential not because they're different, but because they're good. So I'm just clarifying. Possibly who you took wasn't a differential yet. It was just someone who other people aren't picking.
I'm learning. This is season 3, right? So
What?
by the time we go to 9, I'm sure I'll realize the mistakes that I've done. But so good for David Moyes. Antonio is the top goal scorer, better than Paulo Di Canio and Fulham and West Ham legend. Ayer, you know about this Bobby Zamora.
Yeah,
scoring better goals than Bobby Zamora.
Bobby Zamora, man.
Everyone. No, I mean, Fulham legend.
I don't know about better, but more is what you mean, right?
More so definitely. Andy Carroll couldn't score as many.
Hey, Andy Carroll saved England a couple of times, if I'm not wrong.
It's surprising that a club like West Ham, their top scorer is 40-odd goals. I think that's the mark. It's honestly very surprising. Usually some of these clubs will have one guy. I would have assumed Jermaine Defoe would have stayed there for 8 seasons and banged in 100 goals at least. So that was a bit of a
Jermaine Defoe was at West Ham for 10 seasons.
No. He wasn't, I think. I would assume, I'm saying someone like him, there would be this one English striker there throughout his career, like a Vardy, for example.
Oh, you mean like a Darren Bent?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. But it's 40 just seems very low for a club that's been in and around the Premier League for a...
Antonio just started playing striker, I think, last year.
Yeah.
So
it just
and he was injured for quite a few games last season as well.
Yeah, if you remember, they had Wesley at some point in time who was playing up front, if I'm not wrong.
Nobody
it's like in the same bracket as Joelinton. Like, they're there. And surprisingly, Newcastle throw Joelinton on like he's some surprise forward. The score doesn't really change. It still stays nil. So,
yeah.
anyway.
So but then looking at this, and I haven't seen the match, Sapre, so...
yes, coming from a place of informed opinion.
But there was a fear for Leicester before the season started when Fofana got his absolutely awful injury where he's pretty much out for the season. And I think it's proving a point. They need to probably enter the market and get in a defender. Maybe bring back Maguire or someone on a season-long... Yeah.
Or discount.
I know. I don't care about Leicester, so let's move on from that. I want to talk about West Ham. They're doing well. Top of the table, bottom of the table, Norwich. I don't know why they come into the Premier League.
Let's not about any teams in the middle. I think
it's a good way to go. Everyone knows the makeup of these teams.
No. Come on. Norwich played who? Liverpool and then City.
They played 36 other matches or whatever, 34 other matches the season they were in the Premier League, the one before. Right. And they couldn't do much. So, I said, you know the makeup of these teams.
But this is exactly what has been happening over the past 5 seasons. Norwich go down, Fulham come up, Fulham go down, Norwich come up.
You're taking the thunder out of his line, yeah.
No, it's okay. It's okay. He gave me a new insight. But too much about Norwich. The reason I brought it up because City are actually back. And Jack Grealish scored a wonderfully weird Phil Jones Lukaku touch goal.
Yeah. But it counts. It all counts in FPL.
It all counts in FPL.
Why
not in my FPL team, but I don't. I mean, they lost to Spurs the first game, and now they hit 5 in the second.
That was a blip.
And they'll score 10 in the next because playing Arsenal.
Oh God!
I mean, have you seen? I'm sure everyone's seen this tweet already. If Arsenal don't score against City, which is highly unlikely they will, they don't have a goal of the month contender because they would have gone 3 games without scoring. They've gone 180 minutes with one shot on target. And Arteta's waxing eloquence on how young these players are. And, if you watch the games, which I think Karthik won't relate with, but if you watch the games, there are these, bright sparks, and we should, there were a few bright sparks when we get into the Chelsea conversation. But that is typical Arsenal. I don't know why people get so happy in the first 5 minutes of Arsenal having the ball. they ping the ball around, they get it into the box. Tierney will make a few moves, and then Lokonga will find him, or someone else will find him, and then they'll have a good cross in, and then oh my god, so close, and then they'll lose one at the back because Saka didn't track back, and then they will lose another one, and that will be the end of that game. So then Arteta do something in 15 minutes. In the 15 minutes he has, he's not done anything for the last year. What is he going to do in the 15 minutes at halftime? I have no idea, unless he's like putting something in them that the Shaolin soccer players had. But yeah, let's just get this. I got my rant over, so that's that.
Nicely.
You're right.
Routinely dispatched Arsenal like any other team would.
Yeah, but he's right that one positive was the start, where the crowd was also loud. I'd assume there would be some booing, but the crowd was...
Arsenal immediately. Arsenal fans are as fickle as they come, right? After 8 minutes, we don't need this.
It's also the most accessible stadium in London, so it's all like bar ka crowd. Free ticket sponsors
Emirates flight comes and lands on the pitch only.
Arsenal has the most expensive ticket for some reason. I don't know why people pay that much money to watch this. Maybe they pay money to watch the other teams.
Entertainment. So, but my question, Shivram, is when will you agree it's not a team problem, it's an Arteta problem? Overconfidence, you go with man-to-man with Lukaku, with your marquee signing, taking a sick leave.
I think it has nothing to do with me agreeing, disagreeing. I think it's written on the wall for everyone. It's pretty obvious, right? There is not just one problem, there are many problems at this club. It is, if you've ever read history, which I'm hoping a year you have at some point in time, you did go to school and did pay attention. Sapre, I'm not so sure about. But time moves like a pendulum, right? Like there is the cycle of, you grow and then you fall, and then you grow and then you fall. Same with Kingdom, same with Arsenal. I think this is the period of decline, but with the rapid pace that it's declining at, even though they've spent the most amount of money in this transfer window. I think it's pretty obvious, not one problem, but many. What might happen, it's not my conjecture. I saw it on many, many different places. Of course, it's, like I said, written on the wall. If Arsenal cannot, and they most likely won't, bang at least one goal or get a decent result out of the City game, right? It's followed by the international break. That will possibly spell the end of the line for Arteta. That will be it. And then they'll take their time to find someone else. Or maybe Paul Mertesacker will step in for the remainder of the season, like Ljungberg did after Emery. And then we'll be in the market for another. I think Moyes might come to Arsenal. I don't know.
So you're saying whether Arteta stays or he doesn't, things won't change for Arsenal anyway?
No, it's not about the manager, right? Like maybe they'll get a manager bounce because there's also, easier fixtures on the other side. Now what is easy for Arsenal anyway? So let's not go there.
How is it not about the manager anyways? Different debate.
I'm not saying it's not about the manager. I'm saying there's many more things than just the manager. Like it's not like you'll switch him out and then everything will be hunky-dory, right? There's so many more problems.
You also have to control Edu's wife of showing a finger to the fan. Did you know this?
What? Who showed a finger? Zaka?
No, they didn't. Sorry, no, they didn't show it in the highlights. You may not know what happened. During the game, some Arsenal fans, whatever they're left, were hurling abuses or questioning.
Have you even been to London? You say you've been to London, but it doesn't feel like which game doesn't have. Have you seen a match on TV?
And the sporting director, and then his wife shows the finger to one of the fans. So that's what happened.
Yeah, but
so more problems with Arsenal. I don't think
that's more an HR issue. It's not an Arsenal problem. It's a different kind of problem.
I don't know. I just feel that, even if a new manager comes in, I agree with Shivram. It's every player there seems like they're on the same level. There is no one you can bring on or bring off who seems like a better player. They're all good.
If you don't start Saka, maybe Saka, I'll give you that. Like if he comes on, he at least injects some amount of, dynamic ability.
I don't know. I just think everyone there, like you switch out Pablo Mari for a Cedric or whoever else it is. Ben White.
Look at those names you're saying, man. Please shut up. Just don't talk about Arsenal.
My point is just like you remove Leno, you put in Ramsdale. You remove Ramsdale, you put back. Like, everything just seems at that same constant level. There is nobody there. Aubameyang was one differential. This is the word we used at the start of the podcast. He's no longer is. We also know that he's probably declined. In decline for sure.
Spectacularly, right? From that year, he won the Golden Boot, or he equaled Salah's record. Where they both after that. What happened last year?
Nothing happened. And Mane as well won it that year. 3 of them. Nice. But I really don't know. But you're right. After the international break, Arsenal will have a few games where they will get a few points. They'll probably sack Arteta. I feel a little later than what Shivram thinks, around November, December. And then it again becomes one of those, this season is a transitional one for Arsenal because the new manager has not got a full preseason, etc.
But who's going to come mid-season to manage them?
Arsenal are not a poor club. They can go and get Antonio Conte.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah,
if they really want to. But I mean, Sapre, the problems that will happen once Conte comes into the club. And the problem with Arsenal is their management runs like a clique. Their entire lot of them sitting upstairs, they want to hire players from their agents / friends. I do not think a manager who's...
It's a big allegation coming out on football. Tag Edu under this. Listening to this. Tag Edu under this. And Vinay Venkatesham.
Yeah, it's sad the way. I think, it was, you usually say power should not be held by one person, where it was actually with Wenger / who was it, David Dean. The two of them put together, it was a far better run club than now when it's spread out.
So it's not competitive anymore. They can spend 150 million in the market, but they're not getting the... the A kind of players.
Bakari Sania said, you're spending so much money, they're all 21 euros. What about the here and now? If you finish 16th, any other club will come and just pick out your players for you. Yeah, nobody wants to, even though it's in London, that's your pulling card right now.
That's also not happening. No? Nobody's coming to Arsenal to pick up players also. No? Brazilian clubs have to come in the picture to get players.
But the player you're talking about is Willian. So let's be clear. Let's be honest in our review. We spent far too long on Arsenal.
Yeah. Declining club, declining podcast. Go to a better club, right? On the rise. They had a new manager last season, Tommy Tuchel. And now they've got Lukaku. We've been fans of Lukaku. Even during the Euros, we were talking about him all the time. And
how did that go?
It went not as good as Lukaku's goals, but anyhow, he's back in Chelsea.
Hit the bottle, Karthik. Hit the bottle.
Karthik's drinking his wine.
I think Italy beat Belgium, so I was fine with that result. I think.
But he's back. He's back. The goal is a usual run that he makes, which I'm sure the earlier striker that they got from Germany also made those kind of runs, but his first touch was worse than Lukaku's. So he's on the bench right now. Right? So, but this guy is doing well. He's going to get you 20-25 goals. Jorginho is their top scorer with all penalties, like 7 or 8 goals, I'm guessing, last season. So, I mean, bought what they really needed and probably the best one out there right now. Are they the only ones to kind of give City a run for the money this season?
I'll ask you this, Sapre. Do you see a weakness? I see a lot of weaknesses in City, especially in that goal-scoring position. Do you see a weakness in Chelsea?
I'll have to wait for them to play United to find out the...
Fair, no, that's okay, because United do play...
They won against Chelsea.
Yeah, they do, and their counter-attacking game is different from what you would expect from a top club. So fair play to that statement. But I do not see on paper a weakness in that side. They have 2 players for every position. And 2 very, very good players.
Yeah, apart from the goalkeeping...
Wait, are you including Werner?
I am including Werner in this, yeah.
So we're just being lax about this podcast.
No, I don't think Werner's a goal scorer. I never thought. He had one season where he scored 25 goals.
So what position are you saying he's good for?
On the left wing. On the left wing. I would like to see Lukaku.
So who's playing in the middle?
Lukaku.
So who's the alternative for Lukaku then?
Oh, that's interesting. They sold Tammy Abraham, so Werner has to step in there if need be. Yeah.
You're falling into your own kind of words.
No. But then you can always play. Lukaku can go on the right wing. You can play Pulisic up there whenever he recovers from whatever he has. You can play Ziyech on the right. There's Havertz who plays as a striker, as a false 9. So I'm saying they have 22 players who can fill in 11 positions. 21. Let's not count Kepa there. I just see them as the strongest side. So you're saying if they can challenge City, I would say that they are favourites. City are probably second. And so United will definitely be there. Sorry?
What about, I don't think United is going to get there. I think Liverpool is going to be ahead of
United is not getting there for sure.
Here's the thing. No. Anyone who says United shouldn't get there, right? And especially United fans. I'm not targeting this at you, Shivram, because United, all that these guys have been saying is they needed a central defender, they needed a central midfielder, and they needed a right winger. Last year, they got Van de Beek. Now they got Sancho and Varane. There are no excuses anymore to finish 4th and 5th and just be fighting for the Champions League. This club better be fighting for the title. Otherwise, then you start questioning the manager.
4th, 5th, we finished 2nd. What is 4th, 5th? It is still competitive. We'll finish 3rd, worse.
It's not competitive when you're so many points behind. No. United were leading by 5 points last year in December or something. It was.
Yeah, but you're behind the 2
January they got cake and all.
Look at the players,
No, that's what you keep saying. Look at the players. The players are they're brilliant players. You have World Cup winners on that side.
And then Greenwood has to go and score.
No, we'll wait for Cavani to get back. And Marshall's new haircut is not working. And 90 minutes we played, had not a single penalty. So disastrous game for us. So yeah, hope Rashford recovers quickly and comes
What
back.
happened, Karthik? But you feel you seem a little angry today.
No, I'm not. No
Windy's
anger at all.
Windy's lost a wicket, I guess.
I am saying that these three teams should be competing for the title: United, City, Chelsea. I do not know what to make of Liverpool. I'll leave that to your call. I do not really know what to make of them.
But there are other titles that United compete for. No, best jersey title. There are so many other titles. The point is to win something. I told first season I said, and you can go back and listen to all the episodes, and I've said in there somewhere it is 22-23 season is when United will become competitive enough to fight for the title, not this season for sure.
Okay.
So that's a but boring game. Liverpool, I don't want to talk about too much. Salah didn't score. It disappointed a lot of people. I was happy because he wasn't my captain, but then Bruno played, so I'm like,
who was your captain?
Bruno. So. But he didn't score, so I don't really want to talk about it. It was an easy game for Liverpool,
I'm interested in this. I know Liverpool have started well, Shivram, but why do you have so much faith in them? We saw what happened last year. Is it just simply because Van Dijk is back?
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah,
I think for the sole reason is that Van Dijk is back. I think their backline is really, really strong. Once Robertson comes back, I think they will be untouchable at the back.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched the game, but Alisson on song is spectacular.
Yeah,
I feel amazed that they've let in any goals last year. But of course, because of Van Dijk, even now that Tsimikas is playing in place of Robertson, and he got found out a couple of times, but he stepped up the following game. I know we called him out I did at least call him out. He stepped it up. They did a really, really good job. I think they're fantastic at the back. They now, in Jota, they have a very, very dependable scorer. Like, he's continuing to score goals. You can play him for 60 minutes. You can play him for 30 minutes. He'll deliver, right? Last year, I remember he didn't start for some game and we were crying. Everyone who picked him for FPL, he came on at 67 minutes or something, scored 2. So, put that and Mane and Firmino and Salah, they have, again, an untouchable attack. In the middle, they have, with Wijnaldum leaving, they still continue to hold on. So, again, to your question, I don't see, like, other than the fact that, yes, they may not have, like-for-like changes on every position that you drew out a comparison with Chelsea. If these people remain fit, I don't see
It doesn't matter,
why.
right? It doesn't really matter if Pulisic is just going to be on the bench if everyone's
correct.
fit. So,
if you're not going to bench Salah, right? So there's no question of that. But if you have Firmino, who's still, he's still Brazilian at the end of the day. With the exception of Willian, every Brazilian I've seen is pretty good. So that should... I think they have a fighting chance.
Sapre is screaming over the rooftops, Fred.
Yeah,
he scored. He scored. Why are you dissing him?
Too much about Liverpool. Too much about Liverpool.
Oh, he scored an own goal, Karthik. I know you watched the game. But...
I thought the goal was given to... Who was the guy with the shot? Armstrong? No, someone else.
No. It was given as a own goal for Fred.
Own goal or what? Okay.
It needed him to step in.
Liverpool, my thing is they made this short one player in the midfield. They're not going to get as many games from Milner. Thiago...
Didn't they buy that player? What is that name? What is it?
Konate is central defender.
Defender.
Yeah. But I think, separate to your point, they're expecting what's that guy, that Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott to step up, basically.
Harvey Elliott actually did really well.
That's what Arteta thought when he got these youngsters up. The pressure on Liverpool is too high for...
No, the difference is Liverpool. They've already been tried and tested at Southampton, but...
Yeah. So Shaqiri is gone. I don't think they've replaced Wijnaldum. That is the only... Like, if you compare them with the City-Chelsea squad, that's where I believe they like. Otherwise, they're still far better off than the other 17 teams in contention. So that's that. I think enough about... But good. I enjoyed the goals. I had a chance to watch.
What happened with Spurs? I'm not able to recollect.
So, 1-0 against Wolves.
So basically, this Nuno is Mourinho with a slightly fancier beard. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Also Portuguese.
He's a Mourinho light with different looks.
Less cocky also.
Pretty much.
Yeah. More like.
I don't think he pushed Wenger. That I can be pretty sure.
Next week we'll talk a little more about Spurs. Not withstanding the result, but because transfer deadline and we'll still wait what's happening with Kane. City is I think 50 million of the valuation, which is
How much is the
fiddly.
valuation and how much did they?
150 is the valuation, 100 is what they've put, and they wanted to do a cash plus player deal. So they wanted Sterling. Sterling got pissed off, has scored a goal already. Then they said Laporte, I'll make a part of it. Laporte scored. So nobody bloody wants to leave City, and I don't blame them, for Spurs especially. For 50 million, but it's like 3 pillows in that owner's house, which is a hard cave, like 50 million should come in. So they'll figure out.
Do you think princes put money in there because they put money in their pillow because IT raid होगा उनके घर पे?
नहीं, मतलब थोड़ा fluffy हो जाता है pillow और कुछ नहीं सब. Different feel than what cotton gives. So I think salary would be the only problem. I think they have the money to buy, but let's see if he's willing to sell. He was on the bench, right, or wasn't he?
He came on. He didn't do much.
He got a yellow card for time wasting also at the end.
Yeah, he did his job. If he did his job because they were 1-0 ahead. But yeah,
I think Pep gave him a card for time wasting and taking more time.
Don't you feel like it's died down, the links? Like it'll probably come up again, but I feel thoda thanda ho gaya. The City are not very. Yeah. But then Spurs will not sell it as long as they don't have time for a replacement, I guess. He has 3 years left on his contract, so
you know that. Who will they replace him with? What happened to Troy Parrott?
Parrott. So Parrott, go read up. There are very interesting stories about Parrott and certain links to certain mafia in Ireland. Extremely interesting.
That you told us,
But he's gone. He's I think sold also now. He's been on loan, but they've been linked with Vlahovic from Fiorentina in case they lose Harry Kane. But if they lose them, I don't see how they're going to get a ready-made replacement immediately.
So
sell
we
him
don't
now.
know
What is their problem? Yeah, just sell him.
Can't find replacement. You only said, na. How much will Son play? And then he'll go for qualifiers. And how much will Bergwijn play? Bale's also gone back. They don't have anybody.
Mora
sahi yahan se kuch nahi hone wala. He missed a chance also in that match. Easy one. Talking about missing chances, let's move to FPL.
Let's do that. Pehle code batao sabko.
Code kuch hai. Code is SIVARAM.
Arey, Karthik, see, if you make a doc, the least you can do is put the code in. Didn't we have this discussion last week?
First I thought he put the code, and now I read it. It is FPLKMKB, and now I get what that means. Like initially, I thought he had just put the code. Yeah, I think he's missed out.
Nothing. I don't know how to beep this conversation, so I can't really say.
FPL. Correct.
We can only abuse in English, not in Hindi on this podcast. That's the rule we said.
Got it. Fine. I have the code. So go to fantasy.premierleague.com. You can join the Football League. Over hundreds of people and tens enjoying their time in that league. Put in the code 3HDRUY. That's 3HDRUY. Put that code in. You can join the league and show us what you got. Because let's start with Sapre. He's obviously leading between the three of us, but not by much. Lot has changed between last year and this one. Sapre, is he doing really well or not as well or just as well as the rest of us? Sapre, where are you in the league?
I am 72nd in the league. Not very far. Not very. Yeah, but we're not very far from the top person. I think I'm 100 points behind him, so we should be okay. Mid-season.
Yeah, I think this and the ability to lie to ourselves is what has gotten us this far. Karthik, don't lie to us. Tell us where you are.
203rd.
Wow,
Nice.
that's actually the total number of points the top person in the league has.
Yeah,
that is amazing. What a coincidence. Sorry, Sapre, you were saying something interesting or no?
Everything is planned is what I wanted to say. That's
very nice. Very nice.
Nothing more.
Okay, great. Cool. We'll leave it at that. We'll read out the top 5 names who are doing incredibly well. There is Gaurav Roy, who Arsenal represent, is Gunnar Czech. 203 points. Finding Timo. I mean, you can join the rest of us. Arhan Vyas, 200 points. Junkies FC on 3rd. Kids, don't do drugs. Kshitij, Pangal, please don't do drugs. We don't appreciate it, at least not where it's not legal. 199 points. Number, again, actually joined at 3rd is Alison Wonderland. Fantastic name.
Love it.
Very nice. Good. This is the name for this
199 points. Yeah, Alison Wonderland. Fantastic name. And 5th is HP Sauce. I'm not sure what does HP.
Hassan Patel.
Packard sauce? Hassan Patel is his name. So not that creative. So like Karthik, I am at 198 points. Okay, cool. So very tough, as in very close at the top. Just 5 points, 6 points separating the top 5. It will, of course, the chasm will get bigger as we go, and Karthik will hold one end on the chasm for us. and the number 1 to 5 will hold the other side. There is one name though who I want to call out, and this is my dedication to Sapre. Number 7, Siddhant Bane, 192 points. Varan Bhat. I think for that he should get some sort of a retweet. Well, deduction. Talking about deductions, let's talk about what's coming up. I have a hot tip for everyone, and of course, you guys
it's the same hot tip everybody has. Triple up on City players, right?
Sorry?
City, yeah?
Triple up on City players is a tip, right? No?
That is not really a tip. I mean, every season just triple up on City players. I mean, if you need someone else to tell you that, I don't think you should be playing FPL. What you should be thinking of is game week 4 is 2 weeks away, right? Because there's an international break in the middle. People will come back and they will have to follow quarantine rules. So your Salahs might just not be available.
Salah is not Salah is not going. No? The pool said he's not going. Fabinho is not going. I think they're not allowed Firmino also. What is it trying to block their move because of
fantastic? So read up, figure it out. If some people are not going, great, captain them. At least Salah captain them because I think they're playing They're playing Leeds, so a lot of goals guaranteed. But for people who are possibly traveling, they will have quarantine rules applying. So which means they will miss at least that one game week. So keep an eye out and a ear to the ground. Other than that, I think for game week 3, I would highly recommend stick with your 3 City assets because they're playing Arsenal, and Arsenal have all but given up, and they've had 1 shot in 180 minutes. Let's see if they can make it 2 in 270. Aston Villa play Brentford. Aston Villa actually showed up over the weekend. Clean sheet. They also got a goal. Bundia has been fairly quiet, so I've actually switched them personally with Benrahma. I think everyone should do.
Bundia. Sorry.
Thank you.
No problem. Leicester's playing Norwich. So if you have a Leicester player and you think they will deliver, I think this is the game week to hold them for. Otherwise, get rid of them. The last shout out I have is for Wolves. They've had a really high XG over the last 2 games. Surprising that they haven't found the end of the net. Traore by himself should have high XG, and it's against United. And we know that if Southampton, who were actually on a bad run of 1 game week, can possibly score against United, I think Wolves totally can. The highlight of the weekend will, of course, be Liverpool playing Chelsea. So Lukaku will show up against Van Dijk.
Oh, that will be fun.
We'll see who's taller. And of course, we'll see if Alice in Wonderland happens. But yeah, if you have Antonio, stick with Antonio. And if you don't have Benrahma, I think it's too late. Price has already gone up. But I mean, 6.2 is still not too expensive. So good time to jump on that bus.
About that Lukaku versus Van Dijk, I'm damn excited. Because, you know, when a lot of people said a lot of things, Pablo Maria's had a bad 2 games, that there's no putting it.
Who said they're excited about Pablo Maria versus Lukaku?
No. He's had a bad 2 games to start it, and he was turned by Lukaku. I think a lot of defenders will get turned by Lukaku. I do not know if you'll agree with me, but I think except 2. Van Dijk and Maguire. I feel the only 2.
Are you saying Maguire is too slow to turn? Is that what you're getting at?
I think he could employ other tactics. I think Varane could get turned.
Push him.
Singing in Lukaku's ears.
Yeah. But I'm damn keen for next week. Yeah, Van Dijk versus Lukaku. This is, oh man.
And then we'll be left waiting for 2 weeks, which is the worst thing that can happen to us with international football.
But that's okay. There will be the 4th Test match between India and England.
My God, I thought you would make it better, but you didn't.
It will be one thing. If India loses the next topic,
who will start now? Is Lindelof gonna get benched?
Yes.
So that easy. Yeah? I mean, no discussions.
उसका पीठ भी दुखता है so.
What?
Yeah, he's got a consistent back problem or whatever.
Sapre, am I speaking too soon, or is Ole ruining my Jadon Sancho as well? Another player is bringing.
My Jadon Sancho?
I mean, he's a Bundesliga guy. He's my boy.
He's originally English, so he went from England.
I'll tell you the problem. Ole wants to be this protective figure around the club, etc. What Sir Alex used to be. So he's protecting us. He didn't allow Van de Beek to play too many games. He's trying to protect himself. Just throw him in the mix. He's a good player.
He'll get you some name of a football player to sit on the bench.
Did you all hear this? That we found out today that Van der Beek's first ever professional career goal came against FC Molde. And Shivram, who was the manager of Molde at that time? I think 2014.
Ole at the wheel.
So here's the thing. Probably every team who's faced Molde has scored goals against them. So don't single Van der Beek out. Right, it's not a club that people talk about too much. But anyway, tough game to call Liverpool-Chelsea. Chelsea in big games don't really score too much, but they also don't concede too much. That's the same as almost any other game, unless they're playing some West Brom type games. So very cagey. A lot of players have as an FPL players have a lot of these Chelsea-Liverpool type players in there. More Liverpool, less Chelsea, because we don't know who's going to start for Chelsea. People at Chilwell.
Also, Lukaku is 11.5 million.
Oh,
he's expensive. And you don't want to get rid of Ings and Antonio, which most people have as strikers, because they're going to give you returns anyway in the upcoming matches.
Yeah,
so difficult to call for FPL players and for pundits who
I'm going to say Liverpool 3-0.
Wow. I'm
Bold
going
prediction.
0-0.
Liverpool's at home.
0-0.
Yeah. 0-0 you're going with.
Yeah.
I think it will be like 1-1. They can all score goals. There are too many goal scorers also in the team. Like good defenders, but like really good goal scorers. I think one goal to each team should
No, but fun. This is exciting, man. Liverpool, Chelsea. Wow. Okay, now I'm
Super Sunday.
Yeah.
So we'll take a break at that, and then we'll do weather news, which is around the world.
Yeah.
Like nobody's interested.
Sports happen now. Weather.
Sport. Yeah, we'll do all of that after the break.
Yeah.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. We have a new collaboration with Hunts Magazine, and there's a show called Hunts Wani that's come out from that. Treat yourself to Sarita Panti's beautiful ghazal, Dar Raha Hai Muskurane Se Koi, voiced by Jashne Kalam artist Shashwata Sharma. On Postcards from Nowhere, discover how two different systems on writing were developed, one in Kashmir and one in Kerala. Kunal and Shivani Rajput talk about fitness, entrepreneurship, sibling rivalry, and share their Raksha Bandhan plans on Agla Station Adulthood. Dr. Rajiv and Manik Deshmukh share the love story behind their 52-year-old marriage on Marathi Kid Ki Tun. Chuck tells us about 5 lessons he's learned on The Habit Coach with Ashton. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any other show for that matter, please do tell a friend. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week, Siet, Cred, Bank of Baroda, Quarter, CoinSwitch, Kuber, and Intuit India. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Welcome back from the break. You say sport happened, Sapre. I don't think in Marseille, Nice, I don't know if you guys saw these videos, but I don't think a lot of sport happened. What was it? A bottle, and I have a similar bottle right here.
I'll just be honest about before you say. I've heard more fun things like through memes, etc. about the incident, but I don't know what that incident is. So we'll have to just shed some light.
Basically, the Nice fans, it was Dimitri Payet, Marseille's winger, former West Ham.
He wanted to go back to West Ham.
taking a corner, and they started throwing bottles like this. Now usually players would go complain to the referee or gather in the center circle. Payet, being who he is, picked up the bottle and threw it back into the crowd. And then there were about 100 fans who came on.
Not so Nice.
There were managers fighting, and Marseille's manager is Sampaoli. And if you remember Sampaoli, this huge, short, big guy from ex-Argentina coach, my God, he started hitting some of the Nice management staff. He started hitting some of the Nice fans that came on the field. There are literal photos of like players where their necks are completely bruised, their backs have been hit by some fans.
Hey, Guendouzi got hit.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah,
I mean,
outstanding. But I mean, if you want that is the type of Messi is going to the right place. That league is
yeah. Apparently, there were ultras in the stands. And because he threw it back, they basically came. So Karthik, I know, shared this, but I'm guessing everyone else has already watched this. It's Malice at the Palace. Literally exactly the same thing happened a long time ago, just in a basketball game. So go watch that documentary on Netflix. Very cool and pretty similar.
So I'll watch the incident.
I didn't realize not a lot of people actually have been talking about Untold, but it seems like a pretty decent sports documentary series.
I mean, it was just that one episode. Like it was an hour, 10 minutes. It should possibly been 30 minutes.
Right. Okay.
I don't I mean, I get that it happened, but it's not that spectacular. I mean, worse things have happened in sport, right? Like Icarus deserves an hour and 10 minutes, right? Sure. Malice at the Palace is 10 minutes of footage and just get Reggie Miller to cry early and then go home, right? That's it.
So you're saying it should have been a podcast, basically. That should pretty much be it.
Yeah, I mean, if 30 minutes means podcast, please let it be a podcast, but show us the clip of what the fight was. Like that is what we're coming for, right? To see what the fight is. So we don't need to see a dramatic representation of what the actual event was. Oh my God.
So if it could be a podcast, it could just be a PPT. So like just with images. That's all. That French football. Did Messi play? Is he playing?
No, he'll probably next weekend. Probably next weekend.
No, asking Siva, do we care?
No, I was yawning while you were asking that question.
Exactly.
So I thought you got the idea.
Hey, but someone get the rights here to stream it here. What are these companies doing?
One match who will take rights.
Hello, ESPN.
I'm ESPN Cricket 4 for current purposes. Do not ask me about other sports. Cricket 4 is...
This is exactly what everyone says.
Yeah.
I'm Boot and Splitsvilla only.
Boot is getting everything. I've been enjoying my experience on Boot so far.
Just because you're watching Splitsvilla is a different reason. Big Boss. Last season.
Big Boss, yes. Big Boss is one reason to buy it. So we spoke a lot about Arsenal at the beginning. We'll talk a little about them in the end, which is Szczesny's debacle. You can take a man out of Arsenal. You can't take Arsenal out of a man. 2-goal lead and then Ronaldo jumped, did all of that, showed new tricep. Given offside.
New tricep. Do you know how the body works?
No, I don't. That's why I said new tricep. I don't know how podcast also works, right? But I'm doing it.
No. That Shivram, you're talking about normal human bodies. This is Cristiano Ronaldo. If he says
okay, fine. As long as you're saying that, I'm agreeing. Yeah. Okay, fine.
But this, he thought he scored. Juventus gave away a 2-goal lead versus Udinese. Ronaldo thought he scored a 94th minute winner. He was then given a yellow card for taking his shirt off while celebrating, and then the goal itself was disallowed. I thought that moment just captured his Juventus career, the 3 seasons that he's had.
He asked to be benched, right?
Yeah, he did. But then he came on, thought it was his moment. He's done so much for the club, but there will always be that lingering sense that
Champions League.
And the Champions League, they've lost to Ajax, Porto, and I think Lyon was the other one. So it's not like they've been thrashed by a Bayern Munich. So I think that lingering sense will always be there. I hope he stays for this season as well. Like, don't go elsewhere.
I think it's going to PSG, bro.
Yeah, that'll be fun, but don't go to the US. Like, no, not yet. We want a few more.
Not yet. Agreed. Not yet. Go with Messi, Just start something together.
Yeah. That'll be woohoo.
That's a Leonardo.
Under Pochettino, nice. I don't want to watch that at PSG. No, he's staying at Juve. The last I heard that Juve, must be a rumor, was willing to sell him at 25 million because just his salary is way too high for clubs like Fulham to or whatever United also to afford right now. He's staying there. It was Allegri's decision, is what he said, just to put him on the bench. But Szczesny, how can he do the same mistake twice in the same game at the start of the season? And you're an experienced keeper.
I've been supporting Arsenal for so long. Every year I do the same thing. Twice is a very low number.
My mistake. I'll learn not to ask stupid questions. That was it. I don't think anything happened in the La Liga. Messi's left, so we don't care. I think.
Yeah, who cares about that? I mean, it's all. Atletico is number 1, Madrid is number 2, Barcelona is number 3. Just get on with it, man.
So we're happy. No, Bale scored, so we're happy. And some Vinicius scored. I don't know. I haven't seen Vinicius too much. You are
3-3 Levante they played against. And
but like this Ansu Fati and Vinicius are like same talent caliber or what? I don't know.
I would think. Yeah, I mean, but Vinicius needs to step up. It's high time. He's been around.
That is true. Ansu Fati has actually had more standout performances. Vinicius has been at the club for far longer as well. He hasn't really stamped his, authority.
He can now. Ancelotti is the best manager for these kind of people. He doesn't put much pressure, I feel. He's such a cool.
How many people does Ancelotti help to step up? Even Hazard, he's not done much. He's a bigger failure than Coutinho.
But that's fitness issues, right? So if he doesn't get fit, we can't judge him. Like if he doesn't play, it's pointless. It is a failure. I agree with you, but it's pointless even.
It's pointless. Yeah. This episode, the last 40 minutes were pointless. Not really. It was a fun podcast. Thank you so much. We'll come again next week. Then I don't know. I don't think we're going to take a break. We'll discuss cricket or something else. So.
International break.
We probably won't cover the games. It'll just be that one game, the blockbuster game of the weekend, which is Liverpool versus Chelsea.
And then we'll play City.
And
at
then
the beginning of the weekend,
transfer stuff.
मैं आंसू सुखा लूंगा तब तक.
Yeah, we'll see if Harry Kane is there at City.
So 7 o'clock we'll do live podcast after the Arsenal City game. We'll end it then.
Yeah.
Chalo, done. See you guys next week. Thank you so much. This was fun. Not really.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media handles. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I'm Fickleberry Hun on Twitter and Instagram. That's Huckleberry Finn, but Fickle.
If you want to reach out to me, I am Sapre on Twitter and Sapre on Instagram. You can reach out to me at iRant, which is IYERANT on Twitter and Instagram. This is FootballShootball. Recognize.
From uncensored and unfiltered chats with the who's who of the entertainment industry, I, Siddharth Kannan, bring you a very hardcore chat show called Candid Kannan. Tune in every Friday on the IVM Podcast app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you looking for finance products and services that can enhance your personal finance experience? Are you looking for a space to talk about your financial product or service? And are you looking for a crisp talk show where the conversation is all about money? Well, your search ends here. Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta and I'm host of the Paisa Paisa podcast, and I invite you for the conversation about your personal finance on each Monday on the IVM Podcast app or the website or on any podcast streaming platforms. See you folks.